Hey folks, Steve here with a special retraction video. I don't know how to categorize this, but I did a little more. This is homework I should have done before the other video. More homework, I guess. I did a little bit, but not enough, and I want to make sure I'm super clear with folks, um, so I can guide people down the right path. And I do this because one, I don't like looking back and saying, "Oops, I got something wrong." So I want to make sure I correct that. I don't point people the wrong way, and just the fact that I'm afraid that the impression of my unboxing video for the Great Battles of Julius Caesar Deluxe Edition maybe gave people the wrong impression, even though I just published that video the other day. I don't. I want to make sure that I resolve these things quickly and point people in the right direction if they're so inclined. So I'm going to be linking this video to a pinned comment on the unboxing video so that folks can check this out. I would implore them to do so. Just to clarify my comments on missing battles regarding this printing. So um, I have to correct a couple of things and make sure I'm telling folks exactly what they need to know when they go to purchase this. The situation is better than I might have insinuated in the previous video, and I'm very sorry for that if that means anybody might have felt like maybe this wasn't worth the time. I hope in that video I expressed um, the value here, right, of being reprinted. A lot of this stuff not reprinted since the 90s. Super cool. I had mentioned that there were some battles missing from the expansions that were included here, and I realized that I knew for sure that there was one missing, and I wanted to validate the rest, and I could clarify some things. So let this be sort of the final word on this from me anyway. I hope I've got it all right this time. Let me for pure illustrative purposes, I'm going to show you all of my old stuff so that I can be 100% accurate in what I'm talking about. So, I had mentioned that this reprint is missing some battles. The one that had tipped me off most clearly was from the original Jugurtha Guerrilla Warfare Numidia expansion that had come out. It's considered both a Caesar and an SPQR expansion module and includes the Muthul River and the Battle of Cirta. So my first thing that I noticed as I was, I had pre-ordered this, I had, checked out the back and everything, that it didn't have the Muthul River battle. It just has Cirta. You can see there the listings of Marius and Sulla. There's Cirta there from Jugurtha, and then the ones from Dictator. So they say, okay, well then we are missing the Muthul River. Now, technically, from this game package, that is true. It is missing Jugurtha, one of the battles from the Jugurtha expansion. However, and this is the important thing that I had to make sure, like, I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I'm wrong, guys. Here's the SPQR reprint from 2018. There might even be a newer reprint at this point. I can't remember. But this is the last one that I have, SPQR. This was I had not owned any of the SPQR stuff before this reprint, unlike the Caesar stuff. And sure enough, though it's spelled with an O instead of a U, there's the, so, I don't know if that's a Anglism. I don't know. I don't know why that is, but there you go. Muthul River, 109 BC, Jugurtha and his Numidians. So this is the break-off point between the two packages. So if you are like, hey, I was doing my homework on this, and I saw that it supposedly includes the expansion Jugurtha. It has Cirta, but the Muthul River is actually in SPQR. So a little bit of a split, but if you actually, I could show you guys. I don't, it might be too much time. If you were to actually look through this, it talks about how you could use either or, right? If you own SPQR, you could use that module because it says what units to use. And if you own Caesar at the time, way back, you could, it would tell you what counters to use from Caesar. And if you had both, just, whatever, pick one. So that much is good. So while it is, the Muthul River battle is not in this, it is an SPQR, And let me tell you guys, the SPQR reprint is a lot of value too. I mean, I don't, just sharing that. So that one is good, right? And just to give you a sense of security, here's the Dictator expansion. Versailles and Chaeronea. There's no other battles. These are the two that were included in Dictator. Just to be clear, sure enough, both battles are there under Marius and Sulla in the top left category, Versailles and Chaeronea. So this has all of Dictator. And there's Bannaventa, Nicopolis, and Zela. Forgive my pronunciation issues, guys. I'm terrible, I know. You can see that here, Nicopolis and Zela are both here. So all of Bannaventa is included. And then, let's see. Okay, so that's everything that was from the Caesar Civil Wars expansion content. And then, give me 1 second to get this closed up. The Caesar and Gaul stuff. So we have Caradicus, which is the Battle of Medway in Wales. That's right here, both battles. So all of that is included. Caradicus, fully covered. There's the Gergovia expansion. This is actually just a single battle, so it's a really big one. That is included right here. That's already in there. So then this finally brings us to the stuff that is actually, quote unquote, missing. It was not included for very reasonable reasons, because this box would have been even bigger and more expensive. It does not include these three battles from Battles of the Warrior Queen. So Camulodunum, Mona Insulis, Bannaventa. These are not included. Now, this was a more recent expansion that came out not too terribly long ago. This may still be in print. You may be able to find it easier than some of this really, really much older stuff. But this is not included. So if you're like, hey, I bought this and I want everything, this would be, and let's say you also bought SPQR, not for the Muthul River. You should buy SPQR because it's SPQR. Battles of the Warrior Queen. This would be an expansion to go find, unless they were going to do a volume 2 and include this stuff, okay? That is the sort of quote-unquote missing piece across the recent reprint items. And again, because that expansion is recently printed, I can understand why they did not choose to include it in this deluxe package. It is still an expansion that is recent, you could consider. And then what I had mentioned in the previous video still stands, in that in a hypothetical volume 2, these two games, I've got too many boxes on my table, guys. These two games could be included in a deluxe reprint. Alesia and Caesar and Alexandria, they're a little bit different, right? I mean, these games, they were volume 11 and 9 in the Great Battles of History series themselves. So you could certainly do a dual pack, and then, a dual pack, and then throw in the Battles of the Warrior Queen as sort of a capstone sort of thing. And then you would have a worthwhile volume 2 of the Great Battles of Julius Caesar. The Boudica stuff's not Caesar, but, it fills in here quite nicely. So you could have a pretty good package there, and then that would also be, if they wanted to add even more value to such a package, an opportunity to reprint some of the other older, redo some of the older C3I magazine scenarios that had been around. I think a lot of those you could just play them if you could find a PDF of the scenario information, but there's probably some refurbishing they could do there and add even more value, and put that in a second volume as sort of a I don't know, all the fixins. This is deluxe. This was the deluxe edition over here, and then you get like an all the fixins expansion that includes these significant events and the other expansion that was not included. The Siege of Alesia actually is super interesting, because it is just one big massive siege battle here, and I don't know. I just think this one in particular is pretty cool. But yeah, so there you go, guys. I just wanted to clarify that. I felt like after I had uploaded that video, and I had a few people commenting, the more I thought of it, I said, okay, let me just make sure I have a good, clear picture of what battles we're missing. And it turns out it's really not missing much of anything. So the bad guy on me a little bit there, guys. I apologize to GMT. Sorry for any confusion that may have caused for anybody. This is a pretty consistently complete package. Again, missing Battles of the Warrior Queen. If you want that other Jugurtha battle, you're going to go to SPQR, and that's going to give you that full smattering from that era. Except for the Battles of the Warrior Queen and those two distinct great battles of history entries that, again, might make sense as a really great deluxe package as a sequel. We'll see what happens with GMT. So there you go, guys. Sorry, hope this video is more informative, even more informative than the previous video was. This includes all the primary expansion stuff from the 2 reprinted games, except for 1 battle that's over here, and the 3 battles that were in a more recent expansion that you should still be able to track down without too much difficulty. So there you go, guys. I just wanted to get that out. Hope that's useful. Apologies for any confusion that may have been caused, and we'll see you later. Take care.